All right, today we are tackling something huge, architecting a global hybrid cloud. Sounds complicated, right? Well, we're going to break it down and really uncover how companies build those digital highways that connect their offices to the world's biggest cloud platforms. Let's dive in. It really all comes down to this one critical question. Doesn't matter if you have just one office or 100 of them around the globe. How do you securely and efficiently connect to the cloud giants? We're talking AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. That's the puzzle we are going to solve together today. So, to really bring this to life, we're not just going to talk about abstract tech. No. Instead, let's follow a company on its journey. It's the best way to make this whole process feel, tangible. So, let's imagine this company. We'll call them Innovate Corp. They're just starting out, they're small, but they've got big ambitions. And right now, their biggest need is to connect their main office to the cloud to get their business rolling. So, what's their very first move? Where do they start? Well, their first step, and honestly, this is the most common starting point for pretty much any company, is to use a VPN. Think of it as laying the very first digital brick for their entire cloud network. So, what exactly is a VPN? Well, the name, Virtual Private Network, tells you a lot. It basically creates this secret encrypted tunnel for all your data, and it does it right over the public internet. It's virtual because it's all software, there's no special physical wire, and it's private because everything inside that tunnel is completely scrambled and hidden from anyone trying to peek. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine the internet is this massive, chaotic public highway. A VPN is like your own private, secure carpool lane on that highway. Only your company's traffic gets to use it, and it's totally shielded from all the other chaos on the road. But there's a catch, right? That special lane is still on a public highway. So what happens during internet rush hour when the whole thing just slows to a crawl? And what if your data is so sensitive that even a private lane on a public road just feels a little too risky? Well, Innovate Corp is growing fast, and these are the exact problems they're starting to run into. So this is the point where our company needs to level up. It's time to move past the public highway and actually build their own private road, straight to the cloud. And this really shows you the key trade-offs that every growing company has to think about. Look, a VPN is fantastic for getting started. It's cheap, it's pretty simple to set up, but, and it's a big but, it relies on the public internet, so performance can be all over the place. Now, private connectivity, that gives you reliable, high-speed performance and way better security. The catch? It's going to cost you more, and it's definitely more complex to manage. The key word here is dedicated. Private connectivity is a dedicated link. We're not talking about a lane on a public road anymore. Oh no. This is a completely separate private connection that runs from your office building physically right to the cloud provider's front door. So to stick with our highway analogy, if a VPN was a carpool lane, then private connectivity is your own personal multi-lane superhighway. There's no public traffic, no random slowdowns, just a direct, super fast route for your data. Okay, so what are these things actually called in the real world? Well, each major cloud provider has their own brand name for this exact service. Amazon Web Services, or AWS, calls it Direct Connect. Microsoft Azure has ExpressRoute, and Google Cloud Platform, or GCP, offers Cloud Interconnect. These are the names you're going to see everywhere, so they're absolutely essential to know. So Innovate Corp has now gone multi-cloud. This is a really smart move. They're using AWS for heavy-duty data analytics, they've got their core business apps on Azure, and they're using GCP for some cutting-edge machine learning. It's the classic best tool for the job strategy, and it keeps them from being locked into just one provider. But this creates a brand new kind of high-class problem. They now have 3 amazing superhighways that lead to 3 different amazing cities, but there are no roads connecting those cities to each other. All right, this brings us to the final and, honestly, the most powerful piece of this whole puzzle. To solve this new problem, Innovate Corp has to find a way to merge these separate clouds into one single cohesive network. What they need is a central interchange. And that central interchange has a name. It's called a global routing hub. This thing is a super sophisticated cloud service that basically acts like a master air traffic controller for your entire network. Its one and only job is to let your headquarters talk seamlessly with all of your cloud environments, AWS, Azure, and Google, and make them all feel like one giant unified network. So, to finish off our analogy, right? If your private connections are superhighways leading to different cities, then the global routing hub is the grand central airport terminal that connects all of them. Now you can get from any point on your network to any other point seamlessly without ever having to go back out onto those chaotic public roads. So, how does this hub actually pull this off? It's pretty cool. First, you connect each of your private highways, the one from your HQ, from AWS, Azure, and GCP, and you plug them all into this central hub. Step 2, the hub just takes over. It uses these complex routing protocols, the real language of the internet, stuff like BGP, to intelligently manage all the traffic. It just knows the best path for data to get from, say, your analytics in AWS over to your machine learning models in GCP. And the results? It feels like magic. You get a single, logical network where everything can just talk to everything else. And so here we are. We've gone on this whole journey, right? From a simple little tunnel on the public internet all the way to this sophisticated, private, global network. It's time to look at the final blueprint. And there it is, the final picture. This is the end of the journey. You've got Innovate Corp's main office linked up with these high-speed, private connections to all three major clouds. And right in the middle, that critical global routing hub makes sure they all work together seamlessly, like one single, cohesive machine. This is the blueprint for a modern, global, hybrid cloud architecture. So let's just quickly recap the big ideas from this journey. First, you start simple. A VPN is perfect for getting basic access. It's cost-effective. Then, as you grow and need more performance and security, you upgrade to private connectivity. And finally, to really unlock the power of multi-cloud, you bring in a global routing hub to unite everything. But maybe the most important thing to remember is that this isn't a one-time choice. It's a strategic evolution, one that should grow and change right alongside your company. So this leaves us with one final question for you to think about. With the cloud getting more and more complex and becoming part of literally every aspect of business, is your network architecture keeping up? Is it really truly ready for what's coming next?